hit scan. And he might be able to show it a little bit more of that today, not right now on Lijiang Gardens, where we are seeing a little bit more of that traditional GOATS look, but I am looking forward to the rest of this series.
Yeah, Manatin's definitely one to look for on Mayhem Academy, as well as Apply, who seems to be pretty consistent in that role for them. He just needs everyone else around him to also be that consistent. They're going to see each other for the first time here on Lijiang Tower. So asking already using that particle barrier, but it's going to use the Alec one on to the Reinhardt, saving him, but not enough. Fusions will be going down here on that first blood from Apply. So this is 6v5 for Mayhem Academy to start things out. It looks like Uprising is going to give him the point.
Yeah, Uprising, sometimes it really just goes down to your Reinhardt being taken to half health, your Zarya bubble just a tad too late. You saw the bubble, the boop actually come onto Fusions, isolating him, from the rest of his team. Might have been a different story if he was able to escape back to his Brig. But speaking of Brigs, as Cloud's down first, Swimmer finds his counterpart Paintbrush, and again, going to be an even trade back and forth, but will favor Mayhem.
Yeah, and so because Mayhem owns the point, that's why we're seeing them continue to own it here. Even though there were some trades going into it, the trades will benefit that defense to start out with. Uprising Academy is going to really need to get to those ultimates. Mayhem Academy are very close. Eps is at that Transcendence, but Uprising will be coming in with more tools. They just have to get there.
Yeah, Dino is very close to that ultimate as well. A question, of course, is always, are you going to be popping any of these support ults to try and engage? Give yourself that little bit of extra edge as Uprising coming once again through the white room here. Fact Fiction ready with that Earth Shatter.
Let's see where that Earth Shatter is going to go, as Fusions is actually going to get the Earth Shatter, as Asking is going to get first blood here. Shax is not going to be on this point, so this is 6v5 for Uprising Academy. This is a good opportunity for them to flip. The self-destruct is going to get Swimmer, some movement on the bodies are going to be there. That's going to be added on the half kill on that mech. What started as first blood for Uprising Academy are going to end with Mayhem Academy continuing on this point.
Yeah, holding strong right here. Our Mayhem past 60% now, so getting ever closer to that one undone territory where even if they give up the point, all they have to do is win one more clean fight to capture it and win out this round. Uprising, they gotta do something soon, and that something maybe Asking's Graviton Surge. You know that Eps used the Transcendence in that last fight. Paintbrush is going to be close to that sound barrier, but there are ways to burst through those overshields.
Yeah, Fusions is walking on to the point right now. The rally from Shax hasn't been launched, so it has Klaus's rally, so damage mitigation on both sides. Self-destruct out for Uprising Academy, and will grab Fact or Fiction. And so again, Uprising Academy had the ultimate advantage. They knew that going in here. They are taking control now. They will be getting this point, but 97% for Mayhem Academy.
Yeah, that's a boo-boo. That's not going to sting too much for Mayhem. Again, they only need one more clean fight, and Apply already 72% up to his next grab. Uprising, it was a do or die moment for them. They had to recapture this point or they would go down a very early loss. Fusions has that Earth Shatter on hand. Paintbrush still waiting for the right time to drop the beat.
Fusions is going to drop the Earth Shatter first. The beat will follow to counter that, keeping everyone alive. Mayhem Academy has what they need to try to get back onto this point, as Uprising has no more ults after this Transcendent shield dash onto Shax. It's not going to be enough to push him away. The Inspire healing is going to be there because the damages as well. You just got to stay around your team, Shax. That's how you get that healing, but the boot kill onto Manatin is keeping this thing alive for Uprising Academy. Mayhem had the resources. They chose not to use them, utilizing the patience that they had.
Yeah, certainly great discipline from Mayhem. Great boop, though, from Swimmer, sending Manatin down into the drink. Fortunately, Fact Fiction did use the Earth Shatter in a desperation attempt to make something happen there in the hallway. Not going to get that one back for a little bit longer, but Shax will be able to apply some rally armor for Mayhem if they get up to that before they engage.
Apply is going to drop the Graviton Surge self-destruct combo, but their 2 kills are going to happen before that. So this is 6v4 for Mayhem to take back this point and get the round. All they have to do is clean things up. Asking has the Graviton Surge. It needs to be very valuable for them, and the confirmation of kills needs to follow once those are out. Shax finally has that rally and drops it down. Oh, and the Graviton Surge is only going to get the Lucio. Earth Shatter not going to get much as well, as Mayhem Academy continuing their advantage on this fight. Again, though, they do have to clean this up.
They have to clean this up. Dino just got the Transcendence, and yes, Shax is down now. That was a crucial kill that Uprising desperately needed, but now Ep's going to apply some of that Enlightenment healing himself. Swimmer drops the sound barrier in reply.
Oh, and actually, Mayhem was able to flip the point during that fight, so we are in overtime right now. Mayhem Academy, the focus isn't quite there to continue on this, to actually take this point so far. Graviton Surge now coming from Mayhem Academy, as well as the sound barrier. Fact Fiction are going to get the kill onto Clouds, but now these things are trades, and Uprising Academy now has a numbers advantage on the field right now, particularly now that Manitin is out of that mech. Mayhem had the people, they had the resources, but they no longer will get this point as Uprising Academy are coming back.
Yeah, Asking able to wear down, burn down Epps, that crucial piece of long distance healing that Mayhem Academy had. It was actually a 3v2 there on the point in those very last seconds, but Uprising able to clean things up, and Crackalakin back in the fight now as that D.Va, a crucial part of the bigger bang combo that blew open that point literally for Uprising Academy to retake it. And now Mayhem are in the very unfortunate position of having to recapture this. There is no more time to give. They have to do it now.
This is the last fight on this first round of Lijiang Tower. Whoever gets this will win the round. Here we go. Overtime will commence here in just a second, and Earthshatter will get Asking and Clouds onto the ground, but the Transcendence is there to keep them alive. Asking will get that D-Mech though, so there's going to be one less tank for Uprising Academy. They have to play this clean, but it's hard to play it clean when you're back at spawn. Uprising Academy looking so good here on the point. They were behind for the majority of this round, but in the end, they do take it.
Uprising clapping back here from a scrappy battle with Mayhem to open up the round. As we check out this replay here, you see Manitin squeeze through that window, actually got caught. Klaus with a great shield bash, recognizing the opportunity that he had to de-mech that D.Va. And even with the Transcendence from Epps, it wasn't enough for Manitin to be a big enough contributor for his team. Gets back in mech just a little bit too late here. The rest of the team had already gone down in that Graviton Surge. So we talk about GOATs a lot, Boop. We've seen tons of GOATs up until this point, and a lot of, you know, those win or lose moments are off of the back of as small of decisions as choosing to come through the window, thinking that you could just boost around, you know, get back behind your Rhine shield, but getting caught out by a great heads-up play from Brigitte.
And the grab from Uprising came after the D-Mech, solidifying that that was going to land, and that was, you know, it could have been a really good decision from when it was. They ended up getting that round. Now they're going to see each other for the first time. Epps is going to get first blood here on this, but no Reinhardt's on either side, so both teams running a little naked without that shield. Now that Krakenlagan is out of that mech, they're not going to have any tanks available. Uprising Academy, and that's why you're seeing them cede some space, but that worked out for him last round.
Naked and definitely afraid. You need that main shield right there in front of you. Luckily, Uprising were able to actually trade back and take Fact Fiction down as well, but Mayhem had the superior positioning, already focusing on grabbing that objective. So Uprising now once again have to attack this point, but they don't really have any openers, no ultimates yet online for the green team here. They're just going to have to do some good old vanilla Overwatch.
Let's see, you know, vanilla can taste very, very good at times. It's all you need. And so Uprising Academy are going to take that vanilla into the point, but Klaus very close to that rally. Dyna will have that Transcendence by the end of this fight, but Mayhem ahead on those ultimates, will have both support ultimates for this engagement. The Amp It Up is there, so is the Graviton Surge from Mayhem Academy. 2 kills really quickly, and because they're on Swimmer and Klaus, there's not going to be a lot of support available for Uprising Academy. This is a really good opportunity to try to get Mayhem to use even more ults, though.
Yeah, and Mayhem, though, they're not the ones who are blowing all of these ultimates. It's going to be Uprising Academy, already down men at the very beginning of the fight. They still chose to try and all-in commit even more ultimates, and unfortunately, that's just not going to pay off this time around. Mayhem, they had all of the superior positioning, and they're going to hold on to it. Now, once again, passing that 50% mark. Paintbrush has that sound barrier to increase the gap here. Uprising, they need this D.Va self-destruct to land, but it's going to be so difficult with Asking far away from that grab.
Oh, you're going to see the Klaus rally and the self-destruct go at the same time, but Manage is going to be the only one that finds value from it. That ultimate sound barrier has been launched for Mayhem Academy. They're enjoying that music as none of their health pulls have gotten below the armor so far. They're looking quite tanky right now.
Very tanky and very comfortable too, Boop. Epps now is going to be close to that Transcendence, so even if Uprising come at them with Asking's grab, they're going to be able to respond with a Transcendence. Uprising, they have scant few seconds to make this work. They cannot get another early stagger.
The sound barrier from Uprising Academy shows us that they're going to try to do something here on the point, but the Graviton Surge is going to keep them from it. There is an investment from Mayhem Academy. They're not going to get a lot of money back from that, as Uprising are going to start this off with 2 kills. Overtime has commenced. They do take the point. This is a good opportunity for Mayhem to go back to spawn, you know, reset and figure out their game plan.
Yeah, reset. Manitin desperately hoping to get back to spawn. Asking finally mercifully sends him back with the rest of his team, but Uprising, good move right there from Swimmer to engage with the sound barrier. You buy them so much time and a lot of explosivity. That's one of the things that you can be leveraging as the defending team. You know where the enemy team is death balling through. You can apply a lot of pressure, a lot of damage, but with a sudden sound barrier, it turns the tables.
But the Graviton Surge from Uprising Academy, you're going to keep them from at the point just for a little bit longer. Transcendence is going to allow Mayhem to be a little bit more aggressive. Confusions is on the ground because of an Earth Shatter from Mayhem Academy, so no ults available on that side or the other side either. So this is going to be good old-fashioned Overwatch until Fusions gets that Earth Shatter. Manatin will have that self-destruct soon. So the tanks are going to be very important for this next fight. Fusion 6% away from that Earth Shatter. They do own the point, and they have to win every single fight from here on out. Self-destruct, though, does get Swimmer. His blades were a little bit too big for that corner. Factfishin will be the one to go down. Fusion's using that Earth Shatter. Look at this pin. That is a great sacrifice for the better of the team.
Yeah, Fusion's going down with that ship. Crackalack installing even longer with that Diva self-destruct, but doesn't get back in mech. That was a crucial play right there from Manatin, redeeming himself from that last fight. A great boop as well onto Apply. Actually, I think he lives somehow. Graviton Surge out now. It is overtime.
And so overtime commences. Mayhem Academy on the brink of tying Lijiang Tower up. But Fusions has other ideas, getting Manatin out of that mech. Graviton Surge, though, from Mayhem Academy does get 3. Dino goes down very, very fast. Fusions with an inch of life remaining. Eventually that inch gets taken away. Earthshatter not going to do much other than celebrate this round win from Mayhem Academy. This was a back and forth affair throughout.
Yeah, nearly another 100 to 99% take boop. Both of these teams very evenly matched. We knew it with their map scores coming into this series, and we see it once again now here on our second round of Lijiang. And unfortunate right there, Fusions, you see him trying to use that pillar to save his shield, but unfortunately, great self-destruct placement from Manatin. Even though Fusions was alive himself, not able to save Swimmer, that was a crucial piece of not only healing, but speed boost that Uprising desperately needed.
It's so crazy to see this fight go down and know that Mayhem Academy are the ones that ended up winning this round overall because of this kill onto Crackalack. And because Crackalack wasn't able to get back into the Met, Uprising was down a member for a prolonged period of time.
Yeah, and such an important member as your Diva. That is tons of damage mitigation with that Matrix that's no longer on the field for you. Manatin swooping up from behind. Some great positioning, real far out, man. So now as we get onto Control Center, once again, same team comps, but Uprising gonna have to try and use their positioning a little bit more carefully. Shaq's first one down.
Yeah, Klaus will get the first blood of Control Center this time around, but there's 6 people now. 4 people for Mayhem Academy on at this point. This is a good time to reset unless you're trying to get some more ultimate charge, but we are going to see the reset. Uprising Academy will take this point.
Yeah, you will get some ultimate charge yourself, but also feed quite a bit to the enemy team who already have the point. You know, you can go celebrate your point. You don't need anything else. No more kudos for you. That was a very dangerous charge from Factfiction, by the way. He may have been going for that reset, but every time you charge as a Reinhardt, you have to be thinking about worst case scenario. Unfortunately, he went down immediately. Tons of bullets to the back of the head, and he will be a little bit behind Fusions in terms of that ultimate generation.
Yeah, Factfiction making sure the team is behind that shield, but Shaq's taken so low at the beginning of this fight is going to put them at a disadvantage, and he will be taken down from Fusions there. So this is a 6v5 for Uprising Academy on the point, and they have 3 ultimates. Mayhem are going to get to 4 here in just a second, so if they wait a little bit longer, they're going to give themselves a really great opportunity to take this point next round.
Yeah, and see how aggressively Uprising pressed onto Mayhem once they saw that Apply and Factfiction were taken so low that they had to duck behind that corner. You know, when that happens, the enemy Lucio is going to be on healing. There's not a whole ton of healing to be found between the Lucio and Zenyatta with such a tanky composition, so that Lucio forced onto that healing, you know that there's not going to be any sound barrier. They're not going to be able to run away from all of your damage.
Earthshatter is out. That will be the first of many ultimates that we're going to see during this fight, as Transcendence is going to come out from Mayhem Academy as well. Dino will go down with Transcendence, so they're going to save that for the next one. Uprising Academy now functioning with 5 members on at this point. Sound Barrier going to keep every one of them alive as Dino's going to come back from spawn, and it doesn't really matter. They don't have that Transcendence so far as Crackalack are going to put them ahead on the point right now, but with Paintbrush getting that kill onto Fusions, these are just trades. Crackalack going to drop that self-destruct. Transcendence will be here in just a second, and yes, there he is. Dino from the brink of extinction back onto the point, and now Shax is going to be trying to get aggressive, but they don't know how to work around their tanks so far. They're pretty spread out. They're coming back together, but they don't know what to do when they have to spread out again. Self-destruct not going to get anything from Mayhem Academy. Apply does have that Graviton Surge.
Yeah, 99% now. Mayhem, they got to get something happening. There we go. Big Graviton Surge, a charge right through the middle of that dog pile. Will net Mayhem their first point capture this entire round. They can now breathe a breath of relief. They didn't pop everything. They're still going to have that Earthshatter and that Transcendence, but it was looking very dangerous for them for a while. This is Control Center Boop, actually, is one of those maps where the first point control will largely dictate who takes this map. So Mayhem, well, in a very dangerous position. They have to continue to defend this. They don't know how many more fights are coming their way. Uprising for them, it is just one.
At least one more fight here for Mayhem Academy, and the Earthshatter will knock 3 down, but the Transcendence is going to be there from Epps. Uprising have a hard time getting through the door, as evidenced by that kill feed. Krakenlaken will be DMA'd, and that will spell the end of this push for Uprising Academy.
Interesting Graviton Surge positioning choice right there from Asking. Would have maybe done it when the rest of the team was on the point or alive, I think is the more important consideration. That's going to be one more tool off the table for Uprising, at least for a little bit. They have plenty of time, so they're not going to be too worried here. But Mayhem, they have been sitting comfortable on this point now past 50%.
And so we're going to see another fight here on the point. Uprising Academy going to give this one another go. They're close to some very, very important ultimates, so in about 5 seconds, they will have a little bit of an advantage. Self-destruct not going to get anything. Asking doesn't have that particle barrier for himself anymore. With Clouds getting that first kill, this Graviton Surge needs to confirm some kills for Mayhem Academy, and it does not. And a Kobe Bomb will get 2 on that Self-destruct. Uprising Academy looking like they will be taking this point. Will the overtime wick end? Mayhem Academy needs a miracle for this stall to work, and I don't know if they're going to be able to get it, as the sound barrier only gets Epps and a paintbrush, but the rest of Mayhem Academy are on the ground because of an Earthshatter. Uprising are going to clean this thing up, but you need to clean everyone up. This ain't over until it is over. We're seeing it right now. Uprising Academy will take the first map win here on Lijiang and go up 1-0.
Yeah, that's going to be an important win, Boop, not just for that map score, but in your hearts. These were both teams, again, got to reiterate, coming into week 3, it's halfway over the season, and you are down 0-2, so every map matters. It's really going to bolster Uprising coming into the rest of the series, but unfortunately, Mayhem that time around was just another statistic to the Overwatch gods. They were not able to capture this point first. Uprising, they knew what they needed, just a clean team wipe, and Krakenlaken, man, it is not just about winning those fights, it's about sealing the deal with style. That Kobe Bomb perfectly lands on the lip of that wall,
just in time.
Right? And it is good stuff. We actually saw a couple of those attempts at those kinds of setups from Mayhem as well. There was a moment where Fusions was booped up into the air, trying to open up some space for a self-destruct from Manitin. Unfortunately, didn't quite work out that time around. But it's really good to see teams, constantly innovating, right? It's not just 2 death balls crashing into each other like, 2 mountain goats or something. There's a dance now.
Well,
right?
it's hard to, it's interesting to hear you say innovating with goats, right? But there's still so much. We might think that we know everything about that team comp, but certain teams have a look on goats that they're better at, right? That, like, the style of it. Is it aggressive? Is it divey? Sometimes you bring out a Symmetra for some reason, right? Like we saw last round, even though that wasn't goats. I just wanted to bring that up again to make sure everyone remembered. But there is still some room for that experimentation.
Yeah, absolutely, Boop. And it doesn't have to just be with the heroes that you're running. It can be that play style. One of my favorite play styles, though, is where everybody is alive and working in that death ball. Yeah. I know, it's crazy. Like, my team just can't.
That's all I want for Christmas.
All I want. But yeah, Shax going down on that Brigitte very early in many of those fights certainly did not help the Mayhem on Lijiang Tower. So your Brigitte, sometimes, she is a little bit on her own, trying to set up a flank, trying to set up a shield bash to open up a play for the rest of the team. But if she's not actively trying to create something, it is very important for her to stay alive, because you feel like you're the entire universe. You're like Thanos, but you only got a small, a few hundred HP shield to protect yourself with, and sometimes those Reinhardt's just able to thread the needle with those fire strikes. Well, boom, catch you out.
Those feel really good, but for sure, it's like a...
Unless you're on the receiving end, which is usually me.
Well done. Well done. You deserve this.
Thank you.
And now that we're going on to Hollywood, speaking of Thanos, Uprising Academy, you know, they're going to be on the defense first, and we're seeing some interesting characters there. I don't think we're going to see them for long. Mayhem Academy are going to be on the offense, which can provide some other choices. Manitin will most likely be moving on to a more GOATS-like character, you know, but one can hope. But when the gates open, things will be going down.
Definitely going down here in Hollywood, and it's where all of the world's most important decisions are made, Boop, as we know. Manitin actually has shown not just the Diva before, but Winston as well. We mentioned at the top of the program, but Mayhem were one of the innovators with that double main tank look. This time around, he's going to be sticking with the Diva, but we may see some Winston potentially come out on Streets phase. Here, Uprising Academy going to be running that defense. It's a very similar look as well. No surprises here.
Oh, someone did get pinned. Dino is actually at 20%, so that means he got to hit a pretty good volley at the beginning here, but Mayhem Academy are hitting a little bit more HP bars as Uprising Academy will be getting pushed back to spawn and potentially losing this point. Not potentially, they will be taking point A. Mayhem Academy will.
There is no question. Mayhem on their very first push, a take, I would, venture gifted to them by Fusions. You saw there's many different kinds of holding places, speaking stylistically, that teams choose here on Hollywood Point A. One of them is very far aggressive, close by that car near that choke, but one of the difficulties when you are running that Reinhardt, you can't really ping-pong back and forth like a Winston can. Use that jump to get back to the safety of your team. Fusions charged into the fray. He will have 86% to that Earth Shatter, but that did mean that with his mispositioning, Mayhem got a very easy Point A cap.
This is one of the best places for a defense to hold up here right at the beginning, but Apply's going to throw that Graviton Surge, and the Earth Shatter's going to come right after it. Boop's going to try to get the self-destruct a little bit of value, but it won't. Crackalacken will get that kill onto Apply and start things off for Uprising Academy for this defense. Things started off with that Graviton Surge, but didn't end very well for Mayhem Academy.
No, ended with a wipe for the attacking team. Dino pop Transcendence there. He may have been under pressure that we didn't quite see. That Zenyatta is very crucial to keep alive, so sometimes, you just pop Trans just to ensure that you yourself are going to be alive for this next fight, and Asking going to be hoping for a little bit more than that.
Oh, the Graviton Surge travels so far. Looked like that self-destruct on Control Center earlier. It's not going to get anything from it. Paintbrush will get first blood for this fight, so Mayhem Academy are going to get the first 2 and 3 right now. So this is 63 on the objective for Mayhem Academy. Uprising's going to have to give up this space and give the payload to Mayhem.
And Asking going to have to give up all of this Zarya charge. He's getting absolutely battered by Fact Fixture right here. Actually Apply, the one who finally does him in. Unfortunate, tried to go for a cheeky play right there, did Uprising, but Asking got caught out. I actually think Manitin may have swiveled around and eaten it. It was a very lobbed shot, and we didn't quite see that grouping that is typical of the black hole. But Uprising are going to have one more shot here to defend before Point B, and they will have that sound barrier.
Oh, Fusion's got shield bash, and there is no shield to block that Earth Shatter, knocking him down, and that's why he's going to spawn right now, but it wasn't that bad. That could have been way worse for them, and Uprising actually going to get ahead on this fight. This is a 5v4 on the payload. Mayhem doesn't have those numbers, and they don't have ultimates that will push them back. Manitin's going to really want to wait for Apply's Graviton Surge, but they're going to wait for a full reset instead.
At this point on Streets, the spawns are fairly equidistant, so since Fusions went down earlier, he's quicker to rejoin the team. Oftentimes we say that the support that ults afterwards has a bigger advantage, but that's given that the rest of the team is alive. Unfortunately, Paintbrush threw that out when it was a 4v5 on the point, so Mayhem had to give it up. Apply now though does have that Graviton Surge on hand. We've seen crazy combos from Mayhem land in the past. They're going to be looking to set up another.
Well, both teams have counters to all of these as well, so they're well prepared to deal with it. We're seeing mirror Graviton Surges and self-destructs, but one of them is going to get a kill, and that's going to be Crackalacken. And after all of that investment, that's a huge deal for Uprising Academy. Earth Shatter, I don't believe, does go down for Fusions, but he will be back at 0% because of that cooldown, but it don't matter in the end as Uprising are going to continue winning this fight. Manitin with that DMAC is going to spell the end for Mayhem Academy on this payload, but they still have 2 minutes and 40 seconds to get it to beat.
Fusion's Earth Shatter didn't quite go down, but he himself is still up, and that is superb work from Dino and Swimmer, keeping that Reinhardt alive so far away from the rest of the team. And Mayhem was trying their darndest to take him down, but Mayhem do continue to hold here, or excuse me, Uprising continue to hold here, and Mayhem now down to their last 2 minutes and 20 seconds. Fact Fiction is ready with his own Shatter. He knows Fusion doesn't have that tool on hand, so he's not going to be afraid to open up that shield and go swing it.
Fact Fiction going to use that Earth Shatter, get Klaus on the ground. The Discord Orb will help confirm that kill, so Mayhem Academy has an opening here to take B. They can't lose anybody. No one can get picked off, but they're playing good, so they all got to stay together anyway. Fact Fiction shield, though, is at 0. This is a good opportunity for Uprising Academy to be a little bit more aggressive. That's why we're seeing this right here, right now. The particle barriers are down for Apply, so there's going to be no more protection from the Zarya. Transcendence is on at both sides, keeping everyone alive. And now Mayhem Academy are functioning as a full 6, so the initial pick on Klaus doesn't matter anymore. And the Self-Destruct not going to get anything, but the pin on Diffusions is going to take the Reinhardt away from Uprising Academy. And now they're functioning with just 4 people. And usually in a 6v4 situation, 4 is not going to do as well. But what was done well is Uprising were able to finish that off with 6 people and take a lot of time off that clock.
Yeah, certainly a good look for Uprising here. Not the one they would have hoped for, but better than the alternative. Mayhem, though, they will have 2 minutes and 40 seconds to try and finish out Hollywood. A lot easier said than done. Even these days, you need that clean team wipe. Your spawns are so much farther away than the defenders. It's essentially like a little mini point of assault. The biggest thing, though, of course, Boop, is staying together. Strength with the herd. You saw that Fusions was caught up in the saloon. That helped Mayhem cut their way through.
Bannerton throws out the Self-Destruct to push some of Uprising Academy's position in the bad sense away from them. But Asking and Clyde will be trading those kills. Jax will be down for them, so the rally and the Inspired Healing is going to have to wait just a little bit longer. Uprising Academy, though, will have more people sooner as the spawns will be beneficial to them, but it looks like they are going to cede some space. It's a little easier to hold here.
Yeah, a little bit easier further down this small hallway. You know where all of the attackers are going to be. It's a lot harder to hide in those like little narrow corners. Klaus, though, has also popped the rally, so there's going to be that advantage for Uprising the next time they face Mayhem head-to-head. It's looking close up here. Fact Fiction's shield breaking.
Already breaking. The focus on it is a good thing. Even though the shield is up, doesn't mean you don't want to push some damage into it. That can open up an Earth Shatter for the team. Almost as good as a shield bash can if it, if it's that close. Graviton Surge up coming from the other side. Apply's going to drop it down first, but Askin's going to get the first kill for Uprising Academy. Fusions and Crackling both have their ultimates as well, and Mayhem is getting pushed back very hard thanks to the aggressiveness of Uprising Academy right now. They're playing with some confidence.
Yeah, Uprising, they were ready there. Dino with that reaction time to save his life, and Swimmers caught in that grab as they were. Fact Fiction went for the charge. Not sure if Mayhem was going for that Graviton Surge Self-Destruct combo. It didn't come through, so it simply meant that Fact Fiction was out of place. The rest of his team was nowhere even in the same zip code. Now it's going to be a veritable ultimate bonanza here in the next fight.
Earthshotter not going to get much. Fact Fiction will be the first one to go it down. 6v4 for Uprising Academy, but with 43 seconds left, Mayhem Academy will have another attack hammer.
One more attack here, but nobody can go down. Luckily, Apply was able to escape with his life intact. You do not want to give up that charge as a Zarya is asking. You got to know that he is glowing with the power of 1,000 suns right now, ready with that grab. He may well let it loose right now.
The Graviton Surge is going to keep them all in the doorway, but the Transcendence is going to keep the rest of Mayhem Academy alive. Paintbrush still has that sound barrier to be unleashed. Oh, and that is a fatty shatty, everyone. That is about 5 kills for Mayhem Academy thanks to that Earth Shatter. Those Earth Shatters are such team plays. Reinhardt gets a lot of credit and should for this pin as well, but Uprising Academy has to come back to spawn, but they do have enough time, I think, for this defense.
Yes, they do. One more body is going to be able to touch. Fusion's now trying to get their Swimmer. Cuts down, and now the rest of the team grabs. Transcendence, though, will be trying to keep them up. Klaus, though, is down, so regardless, this is now a 4v6.
Fact Fiction was taken low, but the sound barrier is going to help them out to stay on this payload. They're pretty much camping on it right now, and Kraken Lacken taken very, very low on that Diva Mech. Self-Destruct will finish it off for them. Actually, Fact Fiction was the one to do it. This is just now just a timing thing for Mayhem Academy. They're going to clean it up. Everything is going well for them. They finish Hollywood. Now Uprising knows what they need to do.
Uprising must also finish, but it was off of this aborted play, I would say. Asking went with that aggressive Graviton Surge, but unfortunately Uprising weren't able to capitalize on it, actually confirm any kills, and then Mayhem swings back with the Slugger. Massive Earth Shatter there from Fact Fiction, and this crazy pin he actually catches Asking. The charge does run out. He's able to escape to spawn, but Mayhem, you know, doing really well. Uprising certainly getting a little bit too comfortable with their defense right there.
And so Uprising Academy knows they have to finish, but they want to finish with a little bit more time, over that minute. And that was another close one there at the end, but Mayhem Academy, with that Earthshatter, were able to finish it out. But now Uprising Academy need to do the same thing, but they got to capture A first.
Yes, that's always going to be the first point on the checklist for the day. With Hybrid, you got to capture that point, and it was pretty easy sailing for Mayhem, but the Uprising may find a much more difficult battle here. Fact Fiction, he's been playing, you know, we might say a little bit more conservative style of a Reinhardt than Fusions, but it has been working out for them. You saw that they were able to finish out Hollywood, and there was only a couple times where you know, maybe had a willy-nilly charge out into next Tuesday. So Mayhem, as long as they continue to play well, watch that ultimate economy, they should be looking pretty solid. Uprising, though, they of course have the option, as we know this team is wont to do, to shake things up with some different hero picks. If Asking stays on this Roadhog, I'm actually really excited for this.
I don't think that's going to happen. Asking is on the Hanzo just to scout, and we're going to see him back on that Zarya here in just a second. And you know, Apply was doing some really good Zarya stuff there. If we all just play like him, we'll all be in Grandmaster. No time. It's all about moving that mouse as fast as possible. It doesn't help your APM, but it does help your dexterity.
Yes.
And that's a very, very important tool at your disposal.
You know what they say, the higher the DPI, the more nauseous you get. I don't know. But
you needed to enter there before you started that one. But hey, we have a start of a fight upcoming right now. Like we like to say, it's aggressive eye contact with those Reinhardts, with that Zarya. They're kind of just seeing each other, checking each other out, saying, hey, over there, you're looking good for an engage. And now we're seeing the Divas meet each other at the top side. But now they all are just trying to get to their ults. They've already pretty much decided that we're going to get to 50 and then we're going to try to get in there. Fusions is going to, actually the rest of Uprising Academy is going to get aggressed upon. Without that armor pack, Fusions might have actually been taken down. Kraken and very low as well. A lot of jostling for position there. A lot of maybe things were happening. Nothing happened in the end. They see the space without actually taking a fight.
Yeah, it's like, you know, two birds kind of like puffing up each other's chests, but no real damage actually occurs here. Evenly matched here in terms of Earthshatter percentage, but Dino is much closer to the Transcendence. He can even pop it aggressively. Actually, it's going to be the Sound Barrier first.
Yeah, the Sound Barrier comes out aggressively. Now we're seeing those check marks happen on the Ultimate Economy. There's some good ones on each side, but Maniton's going to get a better one in terms of value. They're going to get 2 kills on that self-destruct. Uprising Academy lost a lot of time on that first fight, and they're going to lose the second one. Actually, this was the first fight.
Yes, this was the actual first engage where we saw damage being exchanged in a meaningful way there. Dino, unfortunately, popped Transcendence as well in that fight. And there is a strategy where you want to keep that massive healing cycling, give your team help your team maintain that momentum, right? But unfortunately, this time around, they lost members too quickly. That Transcendence is not going to do anything against a self-destruct from Maniton. And Mayhem, they're still hanging on to their own 2 support ultimates, so this is a massive advantage. Asking and Crackalack can have to land the combo of their lives.
Well, I think it's easy to say, hey, Transcendence here, Transcendence on the other side, but you really want to see Transcendence here and a Graviton on that other side, because the Transcendence is a great counter to it. Oh, the Graviton Surge now coming from Uprising Academy, doing absolutely nothing. You're seeing it right there. Even though Epps was a little late on that's why you're seeing it get popped on his side. And because Uprising didn't have one of their own, the Graviton from Apply is going to find more value.
Yep, that was what Uprising was hoping for from their sequence of support ultimates. Mayhem holding very well, able to absorb the aggression from Uprising without losing a beat. And while they may have struggled at times on their attack, right now they're looking rock solid in this defense. Uprising coming onto the field, they're going to have to bluff their way through because no ultimates on the board.
And so, like we say, it's just vanilla Overwatch, but not for one team. Mayhem Academy have more ice cream at their disposal. They've got 2 ultimates. Uprising already coming in with half health. Crackalack almost got demeched, just trying to get onto the point. At this point, they're under a minute as well. The trades are going to be there. Both Zarya is getting a kill, but it's a 5v5 on both sides. Factfiction does have the Discord and Harmony Orb on him. Was that a canceled Earthshatter? I believe it was. And now they're going to push Uprising Academy back for one more shot.
One more shot. One of the ways that you can tell how the battle is going is by watching those tank health pools. Right now, Uprising, all of their tanks really hurting, so you know that Swimmer has to stay on that healing, provide that, because Dino is one of those single target healers, even with the Harmony Orb as powerful as it is. He will have the Transcendence now as as well. Mayhem, they're going to be expecting some kind of push.
Fusion's trying to make things happen with that Earth Shatter, but nothing to it. The Transcendence isn't going to save Klaus either, so this is 6v5 on point A for Mayhem Academy. Graviton Surge trying to change the tempo of this fight for Uprising Academy. Epps does go down, but so does Dino, so the numbers are still for Mayhem Academy. Soundbarrier not going to get Klaus because he's back at spawn. I just wanted to reiterate that. They do not have the numbers here, and another self-destruct from Manitin is going to take Fusions out of this fight. Mayhem Academy definitely own the tempo. They own the advantage for this fight so far.
Yeah, Swimmer just dancing around on the cafe. Sound Barrier just to help Mayhem buy a little bit more time. Make sure that they're not going to be giving this up. Dino now on the Hammond, not going to be lasting much longer, despite all of his antics right here. Fusion can't do anything. A canceled Earth Shatter to boot, or actually, no, he lands it.
What an endgame screen, by the way. Just everyone taking
Everybody
naps.
just like taking a siesta.
Yeah, yeah. Hey,
like,
we held on point A. We're a little tired. We gotta refresh for halftime.
Yeah, you know.
Far out.
Just feeling it. It's groovy, dude.
Totally. But now we are at 1-1 on both sides. We have a series, and again, it's not too early to talk about playoffs for these two teams. ZP said it in week 1. You really want to get 3 wins to really solidify your chance. That might not happen here in this group, as the 4th place team currently does not have a win, but you don't want other teams to control your destiny. You want to take it into your own hands, and both teams trying really hard today.
Yeah, and Mayhem certainly bringing the thunder here on Hollywood. You saw Uprising extremely ineffective in every single one of their pushes. I believe we're about to see Manitin. There we go. Manitin was actually under pressure at that moment, forced to self-destruct because he was taken so low, but you saw the difficulties Uprising was facing. It was so difficult to catch any one of the members of Mayhem to actually pin them down, kill them. Every time they tried to do it with a grab, there was a sound barrier to meet them. The Earth Shatters weren't quite landing, and even if they're just trying for that good old-fashioned focus fire on a diva, she's just gonna boost away.
Well, something that Mayhem got a lot better at later on, is particularly on that point A in Hollywood, was taking advantage of their first pick. We saw Klaus go down before, and then he came right back, and Uprising Academy were able to win the fight earlier in Hollywood. Again, they ended up winning it, but they got a little bit more consistent there on a point A, taking advantage of those first picks.
And Uprising, they were just, you know, kind of throwing ultimates to the wind in certain places. It wasn't that they were necessarily trying to make those aggressive decisions themselves, but rather just, you know, the story of the boy with the dam and the water is coming through. It's an old Dutch tale. Look it up if you have time. But it's actually not that interesting. It's the dam is leaking and he plugs his finger into the hole to hold the water back, and he's there all night until the villagers come and find him and help patch up the dam. But this is kind of the story of Uprising in that Hollywood push. Every move that they did seemed to be reactive. It wasn't a decision that they necessarily made themselves. There were a couple of moments, but a lot, like the sound barrier, you drop that because, well, Mayhem was defending really well. You have to keep everybody alive, right? And there are certainly places for plays like that, but if you are consistently the one who has to be plugging those holes, going to be a lot more difficult to find that win.
Well, they're going to have to try to find that win after halftime. Ladies and gentlemen, we are tied 1-1 with Uprising Academy and Mayhem Academy right now in a must-win game for both teams. But we'll catch you on the flip side of halftime here in just a couple minutes.